Hello, my name is Michael Riley. I've been doing service going on 50 years. Appliance repair, heating, air conditioning. All was a national trainer for a corporation. Traveled all over the United States, different service centers, opening them up and starting new ones. For a corporation out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Back probably about 40 years ago now, in the very beginning. And I've bought parts from distributors all over the United States, and in fact, all over the world. And something's come to light here in the last couple of years that is just truly unbelievable. I guess it kind of goes along with the way things are going in every way of life for everybody. And of course, the younger people don't know this. But there's when you have a problem, when a company has a problem, one of the most important aspects of a company is customer service. If you don't take care of the customer, they're not coming back. When I was at Whirlpool Corporation about 40 years ago in the beginning, and I was also in management with them, I was the PR guy that not only it was a full-line tech, so when we have like 5-7 people out trying to work on something and nobody was fixing it, service manager would send me out because the customer's livid at that point. And in fact, one case was when I was in Detroit, I had we just bought KitchenAid, and the vice president of KitchenAid rode with me. And we were going out on a call. The guy was livid. It was a kick panel for a KitchenAid dishwasher. Kept falling off. We had 7 people out there. 7 people to put a kick panel on. It's just unbelievable. They just couldn't figure out what was. Anyway, so, and that was never my issue, is to put it off on the tech. My success was going out there and just solving the problem and stay away from the conversation about why it didn't get fixed before, and just get it done. But this guy was livid. I mean, screaming and yelling. I told the vice president, I said, and I'm just like 20, in my 20s, and here's, an older guy that's vice president of KitchenAid. And when we got in the truck, I said, please, because Jim, the service manager, gave me a new kick panel to take out there. I said, Jim, we don't need that. You know what the problem is. And I knew what it was right away, because it was a problem with those kick panels. And it was just a design. So we got in the truck. I told him, I said, now I mean no disrespect, but I just want you to know that this is the reason you're riding with me, is to find out what we deal with out in the home, and it's not always so simple. And this is going to be hairy. It's going to be very hairy. You're going to be very uncomfortable. This guy's going to be screaming and yelling. Jim's already told us he's going to be screaming and yelling. He's screaming on the phone. This has been going on for months, and it's a brand new dishwasher, and we've had 7 people out there. He just wants it fixed. He's just fed up. This guy lives on the bluffs. He's got some money, which doesn't mean anything. But he's a very successful guy, and he just wants things nice. He deserves to have that. When you pay for something, things should be proper. And that's where customer service comes in. If you don't take care of it, you're going to lose the customer in the future. Any business will lose them. If you have a doctor that screws you up at a hospital, are you going to go back to that doctor? Well, you probably shouldn't. Maybe some people would do. I'm just not going to make a judgment, but maybe some people would. I certainly would. I only have one life to live. I'm changing doctors immediately, and possibly hospitals if they don't back me up on. So it's in everything we do in life. Customer service, treating us right. especially when we're paying for a service or parts or whatever. You know, it's understandable that accidents happen. You get wrong parts or whatever. That's understandable. But it's the lack of customer service, the rudeness of customer service, the not getting it right, not correcting it. I'm going to give more examples here. But on that example with the vice president, we got out of the truck and the guy was screaming. There's a long walkway to his door. He's screaming at the door, through the screen door. As we walked up, and I just said, just relax, as we were walking up. And just don't say anything. Please don't say anything. Let me do the talking. You'll find out when we leave why. So I mean no disrespect. But just like at the door, and I'm not going to make this a long, drawn-out thing, but just at the door, he's just going on and on and on. Well, he has a right to. So you just keep your mouth shut. You listen to him. And, you know, you let it go in one ear. Because the reason I'm there is to solve the problem, not to argue with him. And this is where too many people get it wrong. They just want to start arguing back and forth. You don't do that. He's got a right to be upset. So listen to him. This is going to come up later in this video because listen to the person that has a problem. This is the problem with management, with customer service managers, everything else. They don't want to listen. All they want to do is brag on their employees and defend their employees. Well, that's not going to solve anything because your employees are the ones that screwed everything up and why I'm trying to talk to you in the first place. So when he took a breath at the door, I said, I'm here to fix it. I can't fix it standing outside here. So if you let me in, we'll get it taken care of, and I promise it's going to be solved. Well, why couldn't anybody else fix it? I said, I don't speak for anybody else. I'm here to solve the problem. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. I'm here to solve the problem. I know you're upset. You have a reason to be. Side with the person. Whether it's true or not, just side with him. But it was true. He has a right to be upset. 7 people? That's insane. And so we got to the end of it, and the metal had to be bent. But I took a long screwdriver in, big heavy duty one, and I had to put it up against my waist while I was sitting on the floor and bend the metal of the bracket because the panel slid into these metal pieces, and this metal was too far out, so it would fall out, and the kick panel would fall. This had to be bent in so that it was just a small space in there, and it held it. It was too far out, so it would just fall. It was simple, but it was hard to do because it was heavy metal. So you had to bend it. It was bent. It was just bent from the factory, so there was too big a space. And so he saw me doing that, and he was like, "Don't you put that new panel on?" And you know, the vice president's getting nervous. I said, "Okay, fine." He said, "There's nothing wrong with that panel. I saw what you did. You fixed it. I knew that was what was wrong with it." He knew what was wrong with it. He's not stupid. And I put the old panel back on, the original panel, and he said, "I want to take you guys I want you guys to come over to my restaurant and bar and dinner and drinks are on me." That quick. Turned it around. He just wanted to be treated properly. That's all we all want to be, is treated, but we're not anymore. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. These companies, this is about AllPoints. AllPoints is a distributor of appliance and refrigeration, commercial parts for, like restaurant equipment and that kind of stuff, parts. They sell parts. They sell a bunch of aftermarket parts, which I would never buy, but they just sold the business not too long ago, and I spoke to the original founder. He called me because I was reaching out on LinkedIn to find somebody higher up, because this has become a really, really bad issue. It's been a couple years that I've been dealing with this dysfunction. Since they apparently took over this business, these new owners, my experience is it just total hostility towards the customer. Hostile. But worse than that, and anybody that does service knows this. When you go to get a part, I'll make an equivalent to most people that know this example. You go to AutoZone and you want to get a car part, and the person behind the counter has no idea what you're talking about because they've never worked on a car. You know, it's like going to Home Depot and asking the person. There's supposed to be people that worked in the trade, in plumbing and electrical. Well, they're not always, or maybe that's why they're at Home Depot, because they couldn't make it in the trade because they don't know what they're doing. It's like getting one of those people. This is what AllPoints has become. I didn't do business with them before a couple years ago because I have all my other distributors that I work with, but there's a certain tubing, aluminum tubing, that I can't find anywhere else. And so I found it with them, and so I've been buying just that one item for a couple years because I manufacture evaporators for the Sub-Zero refrigerators, and I get my tubing, refrigeration tubing from them, so I can manufacture evaporators, and it's been nothing but a disaster. I mean, a disaster, absolute disaster. I got guys. One guy was like, "It's out of stock," and I was like, "Okay, look, don't do anything. I'll call you back." I get off the phone and I get an alert in my email of a charge from AllPoints. He charged me for it. Are you not listening? Are you brain dead, kid? I told you don't do anything. Don't order anything right now. I'll call back. He goes in and charges it and orders it anyways. Are they working on commission? I don't know. And then to get it taken off was impossible. When you call, you can't get a supervisor. And everybody knows what that feels like. You call, and most of the time now, you call and you get the Philippines. You can't even understand what they're saying. And it's not a jab at Filipino people. Not at all. But if you're going to have a customer service, you have them so that they fluently, the key word here is fluently, okay? They may understand a little bit of English. They may talk a little bit of English, speak a little bit of English, or struggle with it. That's not fluent. And everybody knows if you say a certain thing, or if you've ever learned a new language, you pick certain words out of a sentence that somebody says, and you kind of get the gist of what they're talking about, but you don't know because you don't know what every word. You can't process it that quick because you're not fluent in that language. So you don't get every word. That creates a problem. They're constantly asking you the same question because they didn't understand it. This is why, people, they don't understand every single word. That's why they keep asking you. I've had them 8 times, 10 times ask me the same thing. I finally just hang up when I get to the Philippines. But here, and it's the same as with eBay. eBay is the same way. No customer service to speak of. Anybody that deals with eBay, and I've been selling on eBay for 22 years. It's a nightmare. But AllPoints, I mean, you can't get anybody to talk to. And the problem has been ordering this one tubing, 5/16 tubing, 50-foot rolls. It's been a nightmare. And it should be just simple. They ship it, I get what I want. I mean, it should be just really simple, especially for a large corporate parts distributor like they are. They're expanding. They just opened a location in Mesa, Arizona, a warehouse, and this is the most recent example. I stopped dealing with them a few months ago because they keep screwing up the order. A few months ago, instead of 5/16, what did I get when it was shipped and delivered? 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch is tiny. Any service people listen to this, you know what I'm talking about. To 5/16? Oh my God. I'll give an example. This is not to size, But like this would be 1/8 inch, and this be 5/16. It's that big of a difference. I can't do anything with that. And they sent 4 of them instead of 3, and they were all bent up. The tubing's all bent up. Are you kidding? Plus, so that was a few months ago, and so I had to send it. They give me an RMA, return merchandise authorization, and then it takes them forever to credit it back. They have to charge you again. So here it is, another $300. So there's $600 out of my account until they credit the other one back. They can't just correct it on their end, send the right one out. No, they got to credit. They got to charge me again for another order. And they charged my wrong credit card. They didn't ask me what credit card. And you can't just charge somebody's credit card without asking them. It's unauthorized charge. Credit card company, it's an unauthorized charge. I could have pushed the point and had it returned to me, and then they'd have to charge another card. But I didn't do that because I don't want to delay anything. But I tried to get a hold of customer service just to let them know of my experience. Couldn't talk to anybody. So I ended up going on LinkedIn and contacted the customer service, the head of customer service, director. She actually called me and I talked to her. That's several months ago. All she could do is sit there and brag about her employees. Going back to the beginning of the video where I said you need to listen to know what the problem is. This is just like with any relationship. If you're arguing about something, if your spouse or your significant other is not hearing a word you say, how do they know what the problem is? They don't. It's all about what they want to say or do. It goes with everything in life. You got to listen to the person you're talking to. If you don't care about it, that's what you do. You don't listen to them. And she didn't want to listen. So I finally, when she took a breath once again, I said, "Let me correct you because you're not accurate here. Your people are not great. That's why I'm trying to get a hold of you. The errors and mistakes are constant. You got people ordering stuff when you tell them not to order it and charging your credit card, using the wrong credit card, don't even ask you what credit card, just wrong sizes of stuff, wrong number sent out to you, damaged. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But there's nobody to get a hold of." She didn't want to hear it. Did not want to hear it. And she just did that defensive stance, and I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere with her. This was worthless. So why is she in that position? You're not trying to solve any issues. So here, this last time, I also got a hold of, and that was Tony Colgan, the head of customer service, and then Eric Trelstad and Jim Staffstrom. Ozzie Khan was the original founder that called me, and I talked to him for quite a while. And he was aware of all the dysfunction, and he mentioned to me that he would have Jim Staffstrom, somebody, contact me so I could share their information of the new guard, new management. Jim never did. Staffstrom. I reached out to him on LinkedIn. He didn't respond to me. Then I reached out to Tony Colgan. I reached out to Eric Trelstad, who is supposedly like a vice president or something like that in administration. He blocked me. He was rude to me, and then he blocked me. Said he was traveling. He didn't have time for my BS. Are you kidding? Well, then have somebody get a hold of me if you don't have time. Nope, he's blocked me. This is what's going on at AllPoints. And the new owners need to know this if they care. I'll get to that in a second. Tony Colgan, same thing. Just blocked me. Like the same time as Eric Trelstad did. Blocked me. You can't talk to anybody. You're not allowed to talk to anybody in customer service if you have a problem. And these reps, customer service reps that do your ordering and everything, they have no idea what they're doing. The shipping department has no idea what they're doing. Sending out the wrong size, 1/8 inch instead of 5/16. They don't know the difference, and they're working with these parts. This is a disaster. Can you imagine all the people are getting wrong parts, and then the treatment afterwards? It's a nightmare. Why would you ever go back? I'm not gonna. But even worse lately, I was paying $34 for this 50-foot roll of aluminum. Here in the last couple of months, just overnight, it went to $157 from $34. This is price gouging, AllPoints. It's called price gouging. It's against the law. $34 to $157? No. And then there's other people other companies that sell parts are getting from AllPoints also. Used to be Tundra, they would get it from. And they're selling it on eBay and everything else for like $90 and $80. And so why are they charging $157 AllPoints? Are you kidding? So I just had an account manager get a hold of me from there and talk me into giving them a chance again. And this is somebody that just started and has no power, not a customer service manager or anything, just an account manager. Okay? So she is told to talk to these people and promote them to buy parts. So it's not a manager, it's deceiving. She has no authority whatsoever to do anything. Very nice person, but as I'm finding out, she's making some huge mistakes herself. She goes ahead and I just ordered the tubing and I got the wrong size again. Again. The first order after not ordering anymore because I'm just done with them. 4 of them instead of 3, all bent up tubing. Bent up. What am I going to do with this? And you're charging 5 times the amount for it and it's like damaged materials you're getting? Are you kidding me? AllPoints? What kind of garbage is this you're selling? And then 5 times the amount it used to be just a couple months ago. So I think they're getting growing pains, and they're expanding new warehouse out here in Mesa, millions of dollars, so they're probably jacked up the prices of everything. Listen to what I'm saying, people that buy parts from them. We don't need to put up with this. We just don't. This abuse is terrible. It's not right. And until they correct, and these people blocking me, Tony Kogan and Eric Trailstad and Jim Staffstrom not even responding to me, when Ozzy Khan sent him a message to contact me, I had some issues I need to speak with, just ignored me. This is what's going on. And I'm not afraid to go to the top. I'm just not. They need to know what's going on. And if they care, most owners care. That's what they started the business for. But to get the wrong management in there, and with the old habits of hostility, and they got to go golfing. They don't have time for this customer. I got a golf thing at 2 o'clock and it's 11:45. I don't have time for you. That's Eric Trailstad. I got a plane to catch. I don't have time for your garbage. Are you kidding? So instead of saying, let me get somebody to get a hold of you, that's what you do. I worked management at Whirlpool. Been around a long time. You take care of the customer. You don't just treat them like crap. But that's what my experience with AllPoints. And I know I'm not the only one. If they're screwing up, the shipping department's screwing up so bad. So what do? They shipped out of Mesa. Well, that's cool, right? I mean, it's 5 miles from me. Instead of coming from Chicago. Saves me FedEx two-day price of shipping to next to nothing for shipping, or I can go by there possibly. They don't have the counter open yet. He said in a couple months they'll have the counter open to buy out of there. But they sent out the wrong parts. 1/8 inch instead of 5/16 once again. And it was all bent up. I was like, are you kidding me? And this was a rush job. I needed that 2 days ago. And here it is. It's supposed to be here today, but I don't even get the invoice when they charged my card. And then I took it back. I drove over there to see if somebody was there, and I got hold of Adam Douglas. And for the first time, I got one person in all of AllPoints in a couple years that actually is normal. Adam Douglas, his first person is normal. Everybody else has an attitude that I've talked to. This is unbelievable. He did as much as he could. He says, you know what? And he was honest with me. Because I knew the answer to this. He said, my people are new. I'm sorry about that. It's not an excuse. We need to get the right product out, and I'm working on that. I apologize. It's possible we do have in the warehouse somewhere. We only showed 3 at the time. We don't show any now because they allocated it for your order. So it went to 0. But let me go back. He went in the warehouse. He checked. It's not anywhere. So he tried. That's the first time I've ever gotten help from anybody at AllPoints that was normal, a normal experience, and it wasn't abusive like it always is. It's always been abusive. And you hang up shaking your head and just wanting to go somewhere else. My problem is it's the only part I get. It's the only place that sells it that I can find. So I have to try to put up with this. So now I got to get another order, and he took that back, so I don't have to send it back. But now they got to credit it. So they put in another order. I get a hold of this account rep manager, Sakita, and she puts in another order. She's going to do it from Chicago. No, Lynn. I got a hold of Lynn because Sakita wasn't around. I got a hold of Lynn and said, Lynn, I need this, please. Can it still ship today? Because they ship late, and I forgot what time it was, but she didn't call me back right away. And by the time she called me back, it was too late to ship. But I still need to get it, so it's going to ship the next day. Puts the order in. Now I get an invoice this morning. I didn't get an invoice. She said I'll get an invoice, and you always do get an invoice after you order. But I have not been getting that the last 2 orders. So the first order and then the replacement here, I didn't get an invoice in my email, even though she said it was going to come to me, and it always does. No invoice. But I get an alert of the charge. $253 was the charge for the first order that was wrong. That's going to have to be credited. They can't just send out the right crap when you get theirs back. And they already got it back because I took it over to Adam and handed it to him. And he checked it in from personally, so it didn't have to ship back. So the second reorder, I get 2 emails this morning. This is 2 days after the fact. Another charge for $253. Another charge for $253, 26 I think it says. Yeah. No, that's the credit. I'm sorry, that's the credit. They sent me one for the credit. And then the other order is $253 or $232.14 and $21.21 tax. So that's $253. But then there's another. So I get a charge for $253 from the bank. But then I get another charge. See that shipping on there? $362.78. I get 2 charges to my card. $253 and $362.78. That's a total of $906 for the 3 orders before this credit went through. And I emailed them yesterday. I didn't get this till today, this credit. $906. This is not a credit card. This is a debit card. So it's my cash out of my account. I don't have access to that cash. $906 for a $253. Unbelievable. They tied up $906. What is this $362? Lynn said that she got authorization to next day air overnight this replacement order at no charge. Okay? That's what this is. UPS next day air, NDA, no charge. But they still put $362 on here. And then they state payments, $616. Shipping and handling, $362.78. Payments, and my balance is $0. Are you kidding? Payments means that this $253, the two added together, and $362 is $616. My payment was $616. That's how much they charged my card, because I had 2 charges, like I said, equaling $616. So I've now been charged $362 and $253. What is this $362? So I emailed them yesterday and said, what is going on here? This is what they do. They screw everything up. But the other problem is the reorder, if you recall, the original order was out of Mesa. Warehouse. They didn't have the right tubing. This is the reorder. It's supposed to be Chicago. They put where? Mesa again. They don't have the tubing. So am I not going to get this tubing today? I'm still waiting on it. It hasn't shown up yet. It's supposed to be overnight. Should have been here already. It's 1:30. I don't think I'm going to get it. This is how much they screw up. So people that buy parts, we need to just jump ship. AllPoints needs to understand, and the owners of AllPoints, you need to get a hold of me. If you care about your business, you need to know what's going on. This is only part of it. Your management does not care. They're hostile. As I said, they blocked me. They won't even talk to me. Tony Colgan, what a jerk she is. All she cares about is her own image. They're great. I make sure that they're great. All she cares about herself. She doesn't care about what the issues are in doing her job. Eric Traustad, he's a total jerk. This guy is just extremely hostile and rude and condescending, and they blocked me. I mean, wow, really? More concerned about getting on a plane. And Jim Staffstrom, I don't understand his not getting back to me. He won't answer me. What is wrong with this management at AllPoints? Is this the ownership? Is this the way the ownership wants it to be? It's possible. Some of these foreign companies are coming in buying these businesses, and they just want nothing to do with customers. It's like customer service going to the Philippines, the phone lines. They want nothing to do with it. They just, Whirlpool's motto was, service was a thorn in their side. I thought that was terrible when I started at Whirlpool 40-some years ago. Service is a thorn in their side? They changed that somewhat. Because you're not going to survive as a business. You're going to lose your business if you don't take care of the customer and bring them back. They're going to go somewhere else. That's what we need to do, people. Decide for yourself. But I'm suggesting we need to just let AllPoints know we're fed up with this. Until they correct this, we got to get our parts from somewhere else where we know that we're going to get the right part. when it gets shipped out to us, that we get treated with some decent respect that we should be for buying, especially these overinflated and gouging price. That's another reason just go to somewhere else. We don't have any. You can't be gouging us, AllPoints. This is ridiculous. $34 to $157. I have never seen a markup like that in my almost 50 years. That's insane. That's price gouging. And it's against the law. So you need to learn the hard way, AllPoints. Owners, get a hold of me. If I'm inaccurate about something, let me know. But show me you give a damn about your business, because nobody in your management has given that impression whatsoever. In fact, just the opposite. They have been extremely rude, hostile, and they want nothing to do with anybody that has an issue to help them solve it. Nothing. I sent 2 emails yesterday and today, and I have not got a response back from even Sakita. She was all happy and trying to make everything right. She was like, well, we'll get it right, and this energy of being a new employee. Well, she's finding out that it's not so easy when you work at AllPoints. Everybody's going to screw it up and make you look bad. But she screwed up by ordering from Mesa and not verifying that they actually had if they're brand new warehouse, of making sure that they actually had the product. And then she really screwed up. It's Mesa. All she has to do, my address is on the invoice, and my address is on my account. It's right in front of her when she ordered. If it says the same zip code as where it's being shipped from, why would you FedEx it second day? This is a young person that's not putting 2 and 2 together. Anybody else that's been in the business or has common sense would say, oh, we don't have to do that. Duh. It's like a couple miles away. Why would you second day at FedEx at $40 or something instead of just doing it at $9 of normal shipping? Of course you would just do normal shipping because it's right local. No. This is they don't think. They're just all new young kids, and not just all young, but just new, and they don't know what they're doing. They're not people that have ever worked with parts. It's obvious because all this dysfunction and screw-ups are common sense issues. That is a perfect example right there. Charging me FedEx second day when it's right next door to me. It's just a couple miles away. She should have said, I thought it was coming from Chicago. I didn't know Mesa was a new location. This is brand new. It's only been open a month. I didn't know that. She doesn't tell me till after she charges my card and everything, and then emails me. It says it's going to be coming from our new location in Mesa. And I was like, are you sure? I emailed her back because I wanted to make sure. Are you kidding? And the first thing I thought of was, well, then what the heck did we charge second day airfare? Are you kidding? And I didn't want to give her a hard time about it, but I brought it up gently. I mean, are you kidding? Do you not have any common sense? This is what we're dealing with these days. Nobody has any common sense. And you can't learn that. You're born with it or you're not. Or you learn it from your parents when you're young. So this is what AllPoints is all about. It's a disaster as far as I've experienced. Absolute disaster. And the only reason I'm trying to still put up with it is because, like I said, I can't seem to find this tubing anywhere else. They cut it down from a larger roll, a massive roll, to 50-foot lengths in rolls. And I can't find somebody else that has it. I will eventually. I haven't been able to. I just don't understand that. So I got to try to deal with this garbage because I got to manufacture these evaporators. So, but everybody else, get your quality parts from Granger's or your regular parts houses. I would say, from my experience, you might, especially if you're being price gouged, you don't want to put up with that, do you? I mean, there goes your profit. But also, you sometimes can't even sell the call because the price is too high. But consider looking elsewhere. This is the experience, and I know that others. I would love to have people chime in and leave comments wherever I put this, and let me know your experiences with this, with AllPoints as well. I know people have had disaster experiences because this has happened constantly for 2 years. I mean, some people I get, they don't even know how to use the computer. They can't find the tubing on the computer. It's like, are you kidding? They're not trained. They have no idea what they're doing. One product, one item I order. This is the headaches I've had. It's just unbelievable. And now $362 more than, what does that charge? It's like they charged me for the overnight charge. They charged it $253 plus overnight charge and charged me again. So was that the warehouse doing that? Putting another charge in for, probably, knowing how it works, very possibly. Or somebody else got involved, and now there was 3 charges. $906 for one order. Should have been $253, and the wrong order, and I still don't have it. And it's coming from the wrong location, Mesa. They don't have them. It's supposed to be Chicago, but it says Mesa on it. So I just sent an email over about that, and I don't know if I'm going to hear back, because yesterday I didn't hear back at all either. They're just ignoring me now. Even Sakita is. This is what happens. When they have problems, they act, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to be better, and they find out that AllPoints just doesn't work that way. They don't allow you to do the right things. So the associates, the reps, just give up because they have nowhere to go. They go to their manager, and their manager just says, don't worry about it or something. I don't know, because nothing ever gets done. Doesn't get corrected. Doesn't get addressed. Nope. That's why I had to go on LinkedIn and try to find the management people, because you can't get anybody to do anything. And you ask for a supervisor, nobody's going to call you back. It's a disaster. Owners of AllPoints, contact me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or let me share with you what the fricking problems are, because you have a disaster going on here. And I'm not the only one dealing with it. And people are going to massively go away from you, especially if you're starting to raise 5 times the price. That's not going to be put up with. We're not going to do that. What do you think we are, stupid? We're not. Like I said, the only reason I'm still putting up with your garbage is because I can't find somebody else that sells that tubing at the moment. I will, though, because I'm not going to put up with this for that long, because I'm not ever buying anything from you. Anything else, that's for sure. No way. Not the way you treat you people. There's urgency when we get, just like with that customer being upset, there's urgency. It could be because there's a gas leak. It could be all kinds of things. When we need the parts, we need the right part the first time at the right price. Not wrong charges, not all kinds of screw ups, not damaged, bent, no. We need a quality part right the first time. That doesn't happen with AllPoints, not in my experience. It's been just a disaster, always. And that's what I'll share with everybody else. Consider going somewhere else, because try and find out for yourself if you want. It's your choice, of course. But that's my experience. I would never buy anything from them. except I got to try to get this tubing until I can find another distributor. And it's been just a nightmare, as you found out. So this was a long time coming. I didn't want to have to do this, but this needs to be done. I'm just fed up with this. This is done. I'm done. I'm done. They won't call. They won't get back to you. Management is brutally hostile. They will not help you. I don't know why they're there. I don't know what they're getting paid a bunch of money for, to do their job that they're not doing, except just pushing people away. That's what they're doing, ownership. They're pushing your customers away. They're not doing their job. They're just trying to inflate themselves like Tony Kogan did. Oh, I'm a great director of customer. All my people are great. They're well trained, and no, they're not, Tony. They don't know what they're doing, and I told her that. She didn't like that. Didn't like it. It's a fact, though. That's been every one of my experiences. Every time I get somebody, I just cringe when I go to order this tubing. Simple tubing. I have the part number for it. They screw it up almost every single time, or can't find it on the computer because they don't know how to use the computer. Are you kidding? Yeah, these are facts. There's a history of my calls and emails. Believe me, there is. So, ownership, contact me. I'll share what the deals are and what I've been through, so you can correct it if you care to turn your company around the way they're treating your customers. It's horrible. And I wouldn't wish this on anybody out there that wants to buy parts. Listen to what I'm saying, people. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Unless you also want to pay 5 times for the part. That's my experience with the tubing. $34 to $157 in the last couple months. Wow. And I think it has something to do with expansion. Opening new warehouses and the cost they're incurring. They're going to pass that off to us? No, they're not. I'm not paying for their new warehouses. They can't get it right in the first place. Why would I pay for them to expand? I want them to go down at this point. I just want them to close their doors and do everybody a favor and get out of here, so nobody has this experience like I've had that's new and doesn't know any better and tries to order a part from AllPoints. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So, all right, this gets too long because I want to make my point. I've made it, and you choose for yourself. But that's the facts that I've dealt with for the last couple of years. It's a total disaster dealing with AllPoints. Horrible experience that I've had. So put your comments if you've had the same, whatever experiences you've had. Okay, wherever this video's listed, posted. Thank you. Once again, it's Michael Riley. Take care.